This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first two guests today are both from Thunder Bay Theater. I have Annika Anderson and Charity Means. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
And I'm so excited to have both of you here, and you've not been on the show before, so I will start with you, Charity, and tell me about your acting experience today and what brought you to Thunder Bay Theater.
Yes, well, I have a bachelor's degree in theater arts. I got my degree about 2 years ago, so I've spent the past 2 years traveling around and working for all sorts of theater companies. Now, I booked this job through a theater conference in Tennessee, and it just sounded like a great season, and the company just really has a great mission, and it seemed like a great opportunity, so I'm so excited to be here.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
And you, Annika?
Well, I'm currently an incoming senior at Oakland University in Rochester, Michigan.
Okay.
So that's mainly where I'm doing my training right now. I've been doing theater since like 6th grade, and I fell in love with Thunder Bay Theater at one of my auditions at the conference that Charity was at as well, because I loved what Jeffrey had to say about the theater, and I love the passion for Alpena, and I love that like community involvement, so that's why I wanted to work here this summer.
Well, when Jeffrey first moved here, you had all these ambitious goals, and I thought, okay. And I have to say he's met or exceeded every goal, and he certainly has integrated the theater into our community in a wonderful way. So what's your favorite type of role?
Well, I have the honor of playing one of my favorite type of roles in Into the Woods, which is our first show this season. I'm playing Cinderella.
Okay.
I love being the ingenue princess. It's a lot of fun. But what I love about Cinderella and Into the Woods is that she's not your stereotypical, like, marshmallow, helpless female. She's really smart. And she's very wise, and she really learns how to fend for herself.
Very good. And how about you? What's your favorite type role?
It's kind of a similar thing where right now I'm playing like my dream role, my favorite role as the baker's wife in Into the Woods.
Okay.
And I love her because I love women that are able to be strong and comedic, and be able to be really grounded in who they are and stand up for who they are, but also sensitive and loving, because the baker's wife wants to be a mother and she loves taking care and helping people, so I love those kinds of things.
Okay, so I don't know much about Into the Woods, so tell me about the production.
So Into the Woods is a twist on the typical fairy tale. It features all of your favorite stories, so Jack and the Beanstalk, Cinderella. We have a bunch of different like traditional characters, but the twist is that the characters learn throughout the play that every action has a consequence, and to be careful what you wish for, because the grass always seems greener on the other side, but sometimes it's not the case.
Yeah. It deals a lot with what happens if you actually get your wish, and what does it cost to get your dream, or what are you willing to sacrifice, what are you willing to fight for, and then if you get it, what happens next?
So you play the ingenue and you play the baker's wife. So who are some of the other people and what roles are they playing?
We have Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf.
Which are played by Emily and Jared.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's also the baker, which is played by Jordan, and
We have
Rapunzel, which is by Desi. Just a whole bunch of stories. I mean, yeah.
So what dates can we come to Thunder Bay Theater to see this production?
We open on June 19th. So yes, on June 19th, and we go to July 7th.
Okay, so people better call in and get their reservations made, because this sounds like a wonderful production. Is this for families? Is this a family show?
I think there's definitely parts of the story that can relate to everyone. Personally, I've fallen in love with the show when I was a kid. I loved seeing Little Red Riding Hood and everything she goes through. Of course, there's some pretty heavy topics that can be talked about through the show, but as a kid, I loved it.
Okay, and I know I saw the wonderful article in the Alpena News about the lobby, and it looks like it's absolutely beautiful.
We are so excited to have people in our new lobby and see it all renovated. Everyone worked really hard to make it look nice. We are also going to have cabarets after some of the performances where guests can stay after the show and enjoy refreshments in our new lobby and listen to us and the rest of the company members sing what we want to sing some other songs that we have in our repertoire. So it'll be fun.
Yay, that's a great idea. So you're going to be here for the whole entire summer season. So give me a preview of what the next productions are.
Well, next is Mamma Mia,
Ooh.
which is really fun because that's a good classic, fun musical for like everyone to enjoy. That is on July 12th to July 14th.
Okay.
And then our last show for the summer is Rodgers and Hammerstein's Carousel, and that is going to be from July 24 to August 11.
And what role will you be playing in Mamma Mia?
Mamma Mia, I play Allie, so she's the main girl's like bridesmaid, so I'm like one of her best friends.
Okay, and you?
And I'm an ensemble vocalist, so I'll be dancing a lot and singing.
Oh, cool. That's fun, and those are such wonderful songs. Okay, and I know Thunder Bay Theater is always in need of volunteers, so people can call the box office and find out about what they can do to volunteer, especially in that beautiful new lobby now.
Yes, for sure. If people want to call, our number is 989-354-2267, and then we also have a website, thunderbaytheater.com.
So call in, get those reservations, make it a dinner and a movie and a theater, and have a great evening with your family and your friends.
Lots of restaurants close by.
Yes, there are, and some new ones that just opened. And we don't want to name any names, but that'll be wonderful. All right, so one more time, when can we come to Thunder Bay Theater to see Into the Woods?
It is June 19th to July 7th.
Okay, thank you both so much for being here. Welcome to Alpena, and I hope you enjoy your summer.
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
Thank you. I'll be right back with some information from the Alpena Senior Center following these messages. Hi, welcome back. I'm with BJ Sander from Alpena Senior Center. Hi, BJ.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and
Good.
I think I say this every time you come on, but when I walk by the Senior Center on my walks, the sounds and the smells that come out of there are phenomenal, and I think, wow, why isn't everyone standing in line to get in this place? And they do on some days.
They do, and I agree with you. I question myself with that all the time because although I'm there every day and I know what's on the menu, throughout the course of the day, I'm like, oh my God, what is that wonderful smell?
I know, and you brought that wonderful newsletter
Yes,
with you.
I did.
Love that newsletter.
I did.
It's so good, and it gives all the activities, and it gives the menu so everyone knows what's being served for the luncheons and congregate meals and everything, and gives the prices, and you can pick and choose the day you go. And I guess what I would just like to say is that, you know, if you're really nervous about going there alone the first time, if you've just thought, hey, I don't want to eat at home alone anymore, I'm alone, or whatever your circumstances, you know, call the Senior Center. Someone will meet you. They'll sit and have lunch with you, sit and have dinner with you. And I bet in 5 minutes you're going to meet people. I went there with a coworker, and we walked in the door, and we were there for Tony Burgers, and we were just going to sit and eat. And these ladies insisted we come and sit with them, and we ended up laughing and having so much fun.
And that does happen where people do call in and they're very nervous about it, and we make appointments with them to come in so one of us is available, and we introduce them around, and some great friendships have been established because of that. Yeah.
They have been.
Yeah.
And so today you want to talk about a particular fundraiser.
Yes, yes. So our fundraiser for this year for the longest day is Paint the Town Purple with Purple Rocks.
And purple is a memory color.
Purple is the Alzheimer's color, yes.
Okay, so tell me what it consists of.
So this particular fundraiser, I've done some research on forget-me-nots, which is the Alzheimer's flower.
Okay.
So we've chosen to combine, of course, the purple color with the forget-me-nots, along with forget-me-not cupcakes for this special day.
Ooh.
So I don't know if anybody knows the history of the forget-me-nots,
No.
but one of my favorite things that I've read is a German legend, which talks about when God was busy naming all of the plants, all of a sudden a little plant piped up and said, "Forget me not, O Lord." And God looked at him and said, "That will be your name from here on out."
Oh, that gives me goosebumps.
And yes, and I just love that. And it's such an amazing flower to go along with dementia.
So how do you raise funds?
So this is what happens. So on June the 21st, which is next Friday,
Okay.
for $5 only, you can come in and you can paint a rock, or you can ask one of us to help you paint your rock. We will have some available already painted, and we can put a person's name on the rock. And so for $5, you get to do that with a rock, and you get a forget-me-not cupcake baked by our very own bakery that we have at the Senior Center now. And you can either take that rock home with you, gift it to someone to put by their bed that's traveling that particular journey, or you can leave it in our Alzheimer's garden that we have at the Senior Center, or you can place it in a store. And if you place it in a store and one of the staff members finds it, we will bring it home to the center and place it in our Alzheimer's garden.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So do people have to sign up ahead of time?
They don't have to sign up, but I always ask, whenever I put anything in the newsletter, I always ask everyone to call me to let me know if we need to reserve a spot for you. And I do that for a particular reason, just to make sure that we've got plenty of what we need on hand.
Now, you mentioned your wonderful bakery. Tell me more about that.
Oh, we're doing so well with our bakery. We, through a project, through a grant received through the Michigan Health Endowment Fund called Project Student Entrepreneurs, part of that grant was to establish a bakery at the Senior Center, and we've done it, and it's doing amazing. And we just want the community to know that we do have this bakery there, and that it's not just for the people that come to the Senior Center. Anyone can come and purchase bread. We make white, wheat, and a French bread, and we're making all kinds of different cookies. And we normally right now are operating Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday with the bakery.
Okay.
If you're a business and you need a special platter of cookies or a special bread, platter of homemade breads, which we're also doing, pumpkin bread, banana bread, etc., we can also do that. If you let us know in advance, we can do that for you.
Okay, wonderful. And how are the gardens coming along?
Oh my gosh, I'm just so excited about the gardens because yesterday morning we had our first potatoes pop up out of the ground, and I was thrilled. The gardens are doing amazing. I've got some wonderful, wonderful volunteers that if it weren't for them, we would not be where we're at right now with the garden.
Well, the weather's been a little iffy.
Yes, the weather's been iffy, but the volunteers that we have right now, they're really working hard on those gardens. We've got lettuce planted all over the place in our raised garden beds and in our big garden behind the center. We've got carrots planted, we've got tomatoes, onions. The onions are doing wonderfully, zucchini, peppers, just wonderful, wonderful produce that we're going to have.
And this will actually be used in the Senior Center?
The produce will be used in the center to feed the seniors, but we will also be selling some of the produce.
Oh, good.
And that was part of the grant, was to make Project Student Entrepreneurs, which is a collaboration with ACES Academy. That's part of making that program sustainable.
Okay, and we have enough time to maybe mention a few of the activities that go on at the center. We don't have enough time for all of them, but we have enough time for a few of them.
So I think one of the big things that's happening in the center right now is our exercise program, and that program is called Empowered Movement. The Empowered Movement program, which was established almost a year ago, is coming to the end of the first year, but we're going to continue forward with that and add nutrition onto that. So it's a year-long commitment. You get assessed every quarter to let you know whether or not what you're doing exercise-wise is sufficient to increase your strength, which of course helps with your fall risk.
Oh, yes.
And if it's not, then you make the choice of what you want to do. We offer our exercise class at the Senior Center Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9:30 to 10:30. You can come to that, and I can't begin to tell you the results that are coming out of that.
Wonderful.
And when we started Empowered Movement, our exercise class went from 20 to 50 and 70 people 3 days a week.
I know there's a lot of people that go to it, and I mean, all degrees of skills and abilities, and I mean, if you just can barely move, get your butt down there and get sitting in a chair and get moving, because it makes a difference.
Oh, it does. It does, absolutely.
All right, enough time for one more thing. What's another fun thing you can do there? Play cards, I know.
You can play cards there. You can play bingo there. They're going to be playing bingo today, and I'm not sure what time it is, at 12:45 today. We do that every Wednesday. Tuesday they play Spitzer. Wednesday is bingo. Thursday and Friday is pinochle.
Okay.
So we're Monday is euchre. So there's always something happening at the Senior Center. Absolutely.
And the easy way to find out about the meals and what the choices are is to get a copy of the newsletter. So if you're not on the
But this is also available online on our website.
It is.
So we do have a beautiful website. If people have computers, that they can go on and check out our website. We have an amazing website. We have a wonderful person that keeps track of that for us. So you can always access the menu or the calendar or the newsletter on the website.
Okay, and phone number for anyone to call if they have questions.
989-356-3585.
Thank you so much for being here, BJ, and I
Thank you,
look forward
Nancy.
to walking by soon and smelling those wonderful smells.
Oh, good, great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster. I'm president of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guest this morning Don LaBar, adjunct instructor at ACC and about to engage in a very interesting field school project. Don, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So why don't you describe to the viewers what you've got in the works?
Absolutely, yeah. So what we're doing is at ACC, starting July 8th, we're doing a full-on 8 to 5 field school from Monday to Saturday. Last year I came in, it was actually my first job at ACC, was coming in to teach this class, and coming in, being new to this area. My background's maritime archaeology, and I thought throwing a bunch of kids into 30-foot water maybe wouldn't be the best thing for the college, my first introduction to it. So this year we really try to hammer in trying to have a terrestrial site, so a land-based site. And from that, I worked really closely with DNR archaeologist Wayne Lusardi. And together, he's worked on a couple projects on the terrestrial areas here in Northeast Michigan. And he pointed out a actual airplane crash site in the Ossining area. And what this was is a KC-135. It was a military transport. And it was on its route down south to Wirt Smith Air Force Base, and unfortunately it crashed, killing 15 of the 20-member crew of this site. They were transporting troops from base to base, and so it's really kind of a sad story that happened in the 1970s. We have firsthand accounts from first responders and such, and what we're going to do is we're actually taking these students back to the site to help with the DNR understanding the distribution of the site. So our main goals is to understand when this plane crashed in the cedar bog where it's located. We really want to understand kind of the spatial orientation of the site itself. You know, where did it touch down? Where was the impact? You know, we have pieces that are millimeters big. We have pieces that are meters big. You know, we have a huge array of debris in the area, and we really want to understand kind of that spatial organization of the whole site and how it, you know, is developing over time. How is the environment? You know, it used to just, it cleared out all the trees in that area. Now they're coming back. You know, can we see that in the environment? What are we seeing out there when we're out there and taking note of it and teaching those students the kind of multifaceted approach that we can use in archaeology and other disciplines, bringing them together to be able to help answer that story.
Very interesting. So this is an archaeology class.
Yeah.
And what are some of the other disciplines that you know, the students would be exposed to in this experience?
Absolutely. So we do have, we're bringing kind of a guest lecturer. We're bringing Professor Jim Burles out, and he's really pivotal in the GIS for the college, and he's a close friend of mine and Wayne's as well. And we really knew that we wanted to bring him out because of his expertise and knowledge. Right now, he's actually over in Crete, as you know,
yes,
doing a lot of research over there on archaeological sites and implementing GIS and mapping and stuff. So we really wanted to involve him because without him and his resources, it's very hard to write and draw a site map when things are buried so deeply. And we're not talking about a 20-foot site, we're talking about a 1,000-foot site potentially. And so we're talking about a large amount of area, and GIS is just an amazing package we can offer students to learn from, because now we can go through, we can GPS point all these different major features, and we can lay them out on a digital field and layer it with topographical maps. We can layer it with water systems, a whole variety of different things that can kind of give us as the researchers and scholars and the students as well involved in this a better understanding of how the site lies, what's going on, you know, what is the surrounding regions, and it really kind of gives you an overall more in-depth picture when we do it, and it's a lot more accurate as well. So that's another form. We're also using photography as well. I'm a trained photographer in the background. My background was in digital archaeological photography and stuff.
Very good.
Yeah, so from there we do 3D modeling. We wanted to implement some 3D modeling into the program, but because of the density of vegetation that's in the area, we really couldn't do any flyovers. So we're trying to still figure out maybe if it's something worthwhile still pursuing. There is a memorial sign out there. And over the years, people that have visited this site, it's relatively hard to get to, but there are hunters and such that go out there and hunt, and we find a lot of times that these people will deposit the archaeological material around the sign. So over time, this deposit of material has grown. And so I know for Wayne, he's really interested in potentially looking at that, understanding how that's grown, kind of using the law of stratigraphy, and that basically whatever's on the bottom is probably the older stuff. So we're going to kind of go out there and check it out and see if it's worth 3D modeling, maybe dissecting it a little bit to make sure we know what's going on with the site as well.
Well, in terms of aerial view, we could always use drones that we have at the college.
Absolutely, and we did talk about that a little bit. You know, right now we're still at that beginning stage. This could be a multi-year, multi-summer project, which is really, really amazing to have that kind of ability with it. We've talked about potentially reaching out to Dave Cummings, another professor at ACC, about potentially doing drone flyovers, maybe trying to somehow recreate the flight path. So even if it's just video, understanding how that flight path was going. Because when we looked at the radio logs, or when the Air Force reported the radio logs, everything was normal, minor issues. No one was saying there was no mayday, no nothing, and just disappeared. So we're hoping maybe if by using drones, we might be able to recreate that flight path. And maybe by doing so, we might be able to understand what might have caused it, if it was a natural thing, if it was a miscalculation by the crew itself. You know, just different facets into incorporating all the different technologies we have at ACC.
So Don, we have about 2 minutes left. Your interest and background is in archaeology, maritime or marine archaeology, but archaeology nonetheless. What is it about that field that attracts you?
I think what it is I always knew I wanted to have kind of a scholarly background. I knew I wanted to go to college. Something about the archaeology was just, it wasn't just the humanities, it wasn't just a science. You know, you could have, like for me, I did a lot of, for my thesis, I did a lot of research into kind of how people thought about shipwrecks, and I really focused on abandoned ships. So how do you have this massive ship that has all this financial value imbued into it, and then in the turn of the century, when you see loss of the lumbering in this area, they just discarded them. So I was looking at kind of the human psyche behind that. And that's the stuff that I really liked. I also had friends that were looking at the chemical analysis of pearls, to track which reefs they were coming from all throughout Australia. So there really is kind of, you can pick and choose the many different facets archaeology has, and it really is a multidisciplinary approach. Over the years, it's becoming more and more hard science-based, soft science-based. We're starting to use GIS, drones, 3D modeling, chemical analysis. So it's really a full-on field that people can really get outdoors and see the site and then do the research. So it's just really this kind of beautiful, holistic, you know, I get nerdy about it, but this beautiful holistic approach that I think is just such a fascinating field to be involved in. You know, if it's teaching, if it's working in it, there's a huge amount of variety in it, and you really get to see some quite amazing things and be really involved in the community by being in that profession.
Wonderful. That is an amazing answer. Your students are going to have a great experience.
I hope so.
Yeah, thank you for your efforts, and thank you folks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your host, Nancy Smitham and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.